All right, good morning. If you just joined me, my name is Daddy Fred on the Announcer newspaper based in Massachusetts in the United States of America. Today, we're going to look at what is happening in Ghana, very controversial issue going on in Ghana. So we are going to share our ideas about what is actually going on. So if you just my channel so that you'll be having opportunity to get details of everything that I bring across up-to-date news about Ghana. Issue discussion going on in Ghana now is about military base. Now, what is going on? The U.S. government and Ghana, they've signed an agreement on military issue. And as a result of that, it has been subject of discussions in Ghana recent times. So we're going to go into details how the agreement is and who the agreement is going to benefit, and the benefit of the agreement, how is it going to affect both countries. So if you just join me, be part of the cooperation agreement, which has become a subject of controversy of a country in the country of recent times. The contents of the defense cooperation agreement signed between the two countries have generated a huge public outcry, with a minority in parliament vowing to resist attempt to ratify the agreement. Now, yesterday, the Minister of Defense, Dominic Nito, organized a press conference, and he threw more light about the defense agreement, and he talked about when the agreement was signed initially. For him, according to the minister, it was agreed in 1998 and 2015. But the issue of U.S. government establishing military base in Ghana, that is not subject of discussion, because he's saying that that one is not true. It's never true. But Ghana should feel proud. Ghana should be happy that they haven't well-endowed military personnel from the United States coming to Ghana to establish, to help the country to train its military and police personnel. So Ghana riders should be happy and show appreciation for this great gesture. Now, according to the minister, but the agreement was signed. He's saying that we have already signed a 1998 agreement, and we have signed the 2015 agreement, and we have already caught ourselves in this net, and we cannot back out, because this is just a combination of the two agreements, according to the minister. So the government cannot do anything about it. They can't back out because the agreement was initially signed during former President J.J. Rawlings' regime, and then additionally Mohammed's regime, 2015, it was also signed. So based on what the agreement, the whole agreement about was that now the parliament, Ghana's parliament received ratification notice from the minister. I'm talking about at the floor of the parliament, that government of Ghana has agreed with the United States of America for joint military training. So meaning that U.S. government is sending about 200 soldiers to Ghana, and then they will be also having tax-free. If I say tax-free, based on the equipment and then vehicles they are bringing to Ghana, they will not pay tax for that. Then they're bringing those things to Ghana to help renovate Kotoka International Airport. Additionally, they will make sure that they expand the airport so that it will fit standard that they want. And as a result of that, they will also train soldiers and police so that they'll be able to be prepared for any unforeseen misfortunes or anything that will eventually, like anything that will amount to external aggression, they'll be prepared to seize the situation. Now, as a result of that, Ghana is going to benefit from this agreement, according to the U.S. ambassador to the United States, U.S. ambassador to Ghana. The U.S. ambassador to Ghana, Robert Jackson, says Ghana will benefit from a security cooperation agreement, which has become a subject of controversy in Ghana. The contents of this cooperation agreement signed between the two countries have generated a huge public outcry, with a minority in parliament vowing to resist attempts to ratify the agreement. Apart from being able to use Ghana as a base for staging or deploying its military, the agreement also gives the U.S. Troops unfettered access to certain agreed locations in the country. Ghana, per the agreement, is to bear the cost and take primary responsibility for securing their facilities while the troops are in the country. The U.S. Troops are also allowed to use Ghana's radio spectrum for free. They also enjoy tax exemptions. As a result of this, Ghanaians are a lot of people are speaking against, a lot are also happy about it. So you can imagine right now it has been like political dimension. The minority in parliament, I'm referring to the NDC, is saying that they will they'll be going to court in case if they approve it in parliament, if the majority uses its greatest number in parliament. If I say the number, that means they have more people in parliament to approve the agreement. So if they do that, according to Okujato Ablakwa, minority in parliament will proceed to Supreme Court if the majority uses its numbers in parliament to pass the controversial military pact with the United States. For former deputy Education Minister Samuel Okujato Ablakwa has hinted. So they are gradually wanted to go to court, Supreme Court, for clarification. If they try, if a government try, they use the majority numbers that they are having in parliament to approve the agreement. He said the minority is convinced that Ghanaian laws are being breached by the current form of the agreement with the U.S. He says the Ghanaian law have been breached. The laws of the country are being breached. I don't know what exactly he was referring to, but he's saying that the government of Ghana, according to information that I gave earlier, but the United States has not requested, nor does it plan to establish a military base or bases in Ghana. Police so put this statement clear. This is a statement from U.S. Ambassador to Ghana. He says that the United States has not requested, nor does it plan to establish a military base or bases in Ghana. That was a statement issued by the U.S. Embassy in Ghana on Tuesday. The Defense Minister, Dominic Nitehum, has also stated that government cannot back out of the agreement with the United States because the agreement was already signed in 1998, and then 2015 it was also signed again. So based on MPP coming to power, according to the minister, the agreement was immediately they assumed power. That agreement has been on its table for consecutive 8 months. Now, upon looking at the holistic aspect of the agreement, he saw which it will be appropriate to send it to all the necessary courtesies bodies. I'm talking about cabinet for approval and then sending it to parliament, because the previous agreements were not sent to parliament. So he sent everything to parliament for them to deliberate on that. So it is very surprising that eventually everything came out, everything was leaked to the media that have brought about all this confusion, all this outcry, all this everything. But according to the minister, they cannot back out because the agreement has already been signed. So if Ghanaians have any concern, they should rather direct their concerns to the former Foreign Affairs Minister, Anna Tete, according to what the Defense Minister of Ghana, Dominic Nitehum, has stated. He says that if anything, Anna Tete or the former government rather sue the country. So if there's a saying that anything has happened, it is their responsibility. But let's look at this into detail. According to Okujato Ablakwa, I'm quoting exactly what he said. Okujato Ablakwa happens to be the former Deputy Education Minister of the Republic of Ghana, and he's also a member of Parliament. He stated, and I'm quoting, "We have sent notice that if the MPP uses their numbers to see this get a pass, we will head to the Supreme Court. We are clear in our minds that what is going on now is not in our interest as a nation. It is illegal. The minority is going to oppose this. A lot of laws are being breached by this agreement," he warned. So he's saying that if they try anything, they see it as illegal. So as a result of that, they are going to head to court, Supreme Court, to seek clarification on that. In this agreement, we noticed that the U.S. military are giving radio spectrum. It never happened in the previous agreement. In the previous agreement, we did not give room for contractors, but we see it now in this agreement. So the agreement is signed earlier. I'm talking about 1998 and 2015. Okujato Ablakwa is saying that they were not having those elements in that agreement. So they are very surprising that right now they've included some issues, some different clauses to the agreement. So he sees that it is not going to be in a benefit to the interest of the country. But according to U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, he says Ghanaians will benefit from this. My brother, my sister, you are Ghanaian, and military is there, right? They have military, they have police. Ghanaians have been crying for a solution to armed robbery cases, security of a country, and being lucky, having United States of America military to come and train, equip the personnel with skills and necessary combatant knowledge so that in case of anything, they'll be able to be ready to counter the situation. Is it anything wrong or something? So this is an issue that we don't understand. We need clarification. Why some people are kicking against, why some people are supporting. But the minister has stated clearly that they cannot back out. And the U.S. ambassador is saying that Ghanaians will benefit. Yesterday, I listened to the minister. He's saying that Ghanaians should even give praises to the current government for what they are doing, because Ghanaians will eventually benefit. They are going to train soldiers. They are going to train police. They are going to expand Kotoka International Airport. They are going to renovate the area. But there has been another thing too. Let me look at that one it's very important. The former president of the Republic of Ghana, during his regime that the agreement was first signed, talking about former President J.J. Rawlings. Let me look at it into detail. Not J.J. Rawlings. Yeah, his regime ended in 1992, right? Okay, so he wasn't the one who did it. Okay, let's look at it. But they said he was the one. So let's look at this into detail. We can't live with American troops in our discomfort, Rawlings warns. According to former president of the Republic of Ghana, Flight Lieutenant John Jerry Rawlings, Ghanaians may love Americans, but not to the extent of living with foreign troops on such a scale. Ghanaians have enough foreigners dominating the economy and the economic and social life. Adding foreign troops to the discomfort will be a bit too much. Ghanaians have felt stateless before in my lifetime. Let's not go there again, Mr. Rawlings tweeted on Wednesday. So that was a statement from former President J.J. Rawlings. Meanwhile, some people are also saying that the sovereignty of a country is going to be compromised. I don't know actually how they are basing their argument on that, but they're saying that giving all those opportunities to access to U.S. military to be in the country, to be like the sovereignty of a country is going to be compromised. So we're still on the program here on the Announcer newspaper. My name is Zaddy Fred. I'm bringing you stories going on in Ghana, particularly the most hottest one, serious stories being around in Ghana today. So that's the whole issue. Minority is heading to court if the majority approves in parliament. Now, the question I'm asking is that, is the deal going to benefit the country? The defense minister has stated earlier that when the deal is approved, Ghana is going to benefit. Number one, you have a military personnel, you have a lot of military personnel, right? The skills that American military is having, they are coming to impart some of the skills to you. You will get it free. Additionally, the police, you are going to train them. So in case of any external aggression, they will all come together to defend the country. Now, in this course, apart from that, they are expanding Kotoka International Airport and they are renovating the airport. There are so many foreign interventions, foreign aids that will be through this agreement, directly or indirectly, will come to the country. But a lot of people are also, I'm talking about the minority, are also saying that minority in parliament, members of parliament over there, are also saying that if the agreement is approved, it's going to compromise the sovereignty of a country. It will be like the U.S. military will have access to everything in the country. They will know everything in the country. So they think it's not a good deal. My brother, my sister, this is the issue in the country today. Meanwhile, information that I've gathered indicate that Ghana-U.S. military deal, Hanatete may face parliament, according to Muntaka, former foreign affairs minister Hanatete, is likely to be held before parliament to answer questions about allegations. She signed a military cooperation agreement granting the United States of America military unrestricted access to Ghana's military facilities in 2015. The allegation against the minister under the SY John Mahama's regime was made by the current defense minister, Dominic Netanyahu, on Wednesday. At a press encounter yesterday, the minister, Netanyahu, produced two separate military agreements. Let me repeat that one again. He produced two separate military agreements. One, according to him, clearly showed that Jerry Rawlings and John Mahama administrations signed bilateral military agreements, which he says laid the foundation for the new controversial agreement. Is it true that they signed military agreements? He produced documents to buttress his point. Now Nadeau's administration has also been fighting of criticism since details of the military agreement with the United States of America was leaked. You see, when the detail was leaked, people have been very, very talking a lot about it. Many believe the agreement favors the U.S. and may undermine Ghana's sovereignty. Under the agreement, the government will allow the U.S. military unfiltered access to some facilities close to the Kotoka International Airport. There have been suggestions the new agreement will end up in the creation of a military base in Ghana. A suggestion government and its U.S. counterparts have been quick to dismiss. You see, the fear that a lot of people believe, that a lot of people are having in their minds, having their hearts, that they believe that eventually, if this agreement becomes implementative, what will eventually happen will be that in the near future, the U.S. will gradually build U.S. military base in Ghana, and they are not happy about it. But the U.S. ambassador to Ghana has clearly defined that there is no way U.S. is going to build military base in Ghana. So why this agitation? Why people talking, saying this is getting too much? So that's the whole situation. Aside that one too, he has also stated emphatically that Nothing like that is going to happen. So Ghana stands to benefit. Why are you not happy about the situation if you stand to benefit? All right, let me shift from English language and go to Ghanaian language so that people from Ghana too will not be able to, they will be able to get a clear picture of what I'm trying to explain. And the same, asema aba ewo my Ghana ma amanfo ka ho asem bebre no ya asem bia emu oduru. Na asem ni nyina ne se Ghana ban leak information bi ba abonte se Ghana ban any US aban o masen sign agreement bi. Na say agreement na o masen sign no kire se ebinom nsem a o suggest ye ne se wo nim se bia wo mo pese wo mo military base bi e wo my Ghana mo. Na sase mo ibeto odwa no US ambassador wo my Ghana mo. Wa ba abonten e de abeto dwa se Robert Jackson, the Babonti, the better just said, Debbie, Ghana for Krabenian Faso Efrimu. Ghanaians will benefit. So why the outcry? Another one, so they say, Defense Minister, so they are just said, even agreement in the Crown almost in 1998, in 2000 and 2015. And now said new way about the parliament. No, I done table so 8 months. Now what should we no their comma cabinet their parliament said wa monhwe na omo rectify. Now anyone was idea ebe boa wo man no. Ama man no soldier for ne police for benya ntete. Asem bi to o man no babo man ho ban amam for e kasetia. Na de ne ya ne say de na anatete asema former foreign affairs minister Omonfa Emon. Now when a minority this na wanye sa agreement we yantu na so just mo pe omoba kokoto na omone court akoka se be ya agreement no wo mo betwam na omo de enya de se wo mo ebeje atum na agreement ni nyina ne sen wo mo kire se minority kire se wo mo gisa agreement ni tuma ebema Ghana wan kasa sa ofa ahudi a wanya no obi betenetena afa ahudi so na de wo mi ni se so mo agreement ni tuma a US military for no benya hwan omenya kwan use Ghana radio spectrum afeso so tax free ombenya na afeso so niema bia ewo Ghana military ma mbetimanya access to sa niema ni nyina ebra enye restricted bia nenti omususu se enye ne kwan so eno no and the minority say there be agreement with the M1 or minor former president JJ Rawlings so e dey atubia said nkebaya aban nwini ho biem if you say Ghana minor wo matena se ebra amanfo adi omo so ache eni nti omo mma ho kwan ema military no ema ho de tie ni say US aban any Ghana aban sign agreement bi na say the woman say omo de asojafo maako ahamienu 200 beboa Ghana aban asojafo any a police for say be yom benya ntete ye pa e de abo man no ban semfumsi obi asi anato renchen bi asi a ombetime defend the oman. Now the woman say according to Minister of Defense no say enka omo be establish military base enka omo di soldier for be 2000 remember we dey 200 omo be mo ntete ye so benya ntete ye pa enti was o man no kura ni je say wote o man mu na US aban ba be boa wo man atete wo man soldier for ne wo man a police for no e wo say wo ma wo kura wani ye den eje enti ene nwanwa say ade a nipa benya mfaso afiri mo man ne benya mfaso afiri mo no na amanfo kasa etiasa enti minister no wakasa say Ghana for se mo so bo bi kura de na kamfa mo anatete na agreement we die aban na hwehwem enti na wo de kwama parliament no mo so de o madfo no US aban e de soldier for 200 airborne my Ghana mu aban aye ne say car vehicles and I say cars and equipment Saba Ghana no tax free omo taxes jomo de beba afeso ento nchen omo beboa amakoto ka international airport no oma baamu oma expande na omo wia oma sa renovate asiesie ama security na tight e wo ho e de ama oman no abo oman no ho ban yi na ba omo ba no enya de so omo betena oman Ghana mu ache omo ba betire ni omo aye niema wo so omo ye no mu wie ni nyina awia o masan afiri o man no and it in some wo ho say US for bet no man Ghana mu o mo be hyehye niam ma o man no o mo be yes niam no o ma kire say enye no kware na Ghana ambassador US ambassador wo man Ghana mu Robert Jackson or the atudwa say Ghana man ekura benyam faso afiri mu paaye Ghana benyam faso paa afiri mu and the other for my sema say ededwa wo man Ghana ma manfo ani abra wo mo ka ho asem no eno no ebi no mo kire say enita aban no te ase emasa agreement ne koso na esa Ghana o man na ayefa ahodie man no o man foforo bi sa bedi o man no so na de omo kire say obenya ho kwan nya access to access to military facilities after so radio spectrum obenya ho kwan adofonom minister na stating clearly said agreement said almost signed in 1998 former president JJ Rawlings pencil so almost signed no a year 2015 mahama pencil no enya de esa ban we ebetimi Nanado Danko Akufo Addo aban no ebetimi etwa agreement no omutimi nkwa akire nti I say a year adwuma ade controversy about my Ghana mu na adofo no asem nyina eno no na medamo nyina sam join me say I've given you all details about what is going on in Ghana me din Daddy Fred but let me run up the whole situation let me give up the whole situation. NDC regime tied us to Ghana US defense deal government. The ruling New Patriotic Party government has said it cannot back out with the US-Ghana military cooperation agreement, insisting the SYNDC regime already sold out the country with two previous agreements signed in 1998 and 2015 by Rawlings and Mahama administrations. Ghana-US military deal Anatete may face parliament. Muntaka hence. Former Foreign Affairs Minister Anatete is likely to be hailed before Parliament to answer questions about allegations she signed a military cooperation agreement granting the United States military unrestricted access to Ghana's military facilities in 2015. The minority in Parliament will proceed to the Supreme Court if the majority uses its numbers in Parliament to pass the controversial military pact with the United States. Former Deputy Minister of Education Samuel Okujato Ablakwa has hinted. We can't live with American troops in our discomfort, former President JJ Rawlings. Ghanaians may love Americans, but not to the extent of living with foreign troops on such a scale. Ghanaians have enough foreigners dominating their economic and social life. Adding foreign troops to their discomfort will be a bit too much. Ghanaians have felt stateless before in my life. Let's not go there again, Mr. Rawlings tweeted on Wednesday. Ghana will benefit from Defense Cooperation Agreement, U.S. Ambassador. The United States of America Ambassador to Ghana, Robert Jackson, has stated that Ghana will benefit from a security cooperation agreement, which has become a subject of controversy in the country. The contents of the Defense Cooperation Agreement signed between the two countries have generated a public and huge outcry, with the minority in Parliament vowing to resist attempts to ratify the agreement. Apart from being able to use Ghana as a base for staging or deploying its military, the agreement also gives the country the U.S. troops unfettered access to certain agreed locations in the country. Ghana paid the agreement is to bear the cost and take responsibility for securing their facilities where the troops are in the country. The U.S. troops are also to be allowed to use Ghana's radio spectrum for free. They will also enjoy tax exemption. So, in conclusion, let me state this clearly. Let me state this very clearly. We have already signed the agreement in 1998, and we have signed in 2015 agreement. We have also we have caught, and we have already caught ourselves in this net. We cannot back out because this is just a combination of two agreements, according to the Minister of Defense. Meanwhile, the U.S. government, I'm talking about the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, has also stated this. The United States has not requested, nor does it plan to establish a military base or bases in Ghana. The United States has not requested, nor does it plan to establish a military base or bases in Ghana. A statement by the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, Robert Jackson. But Ghana will benefit from Defense Cooperation Agreement. Thank you very much for joining me here on the program live here on the Announcer Newspaper. My name is Daddy Fred. May God bless you for joining me. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube so that you will be able to hear the latest stories and very controversial issues going on in Ghana. Have a nice and wonderful time, and thank you very much for joining me. Join me again another time, and I'll be bringing you a splendid edition of serious programs happening in Ghana. Have a nice and wonderful time. Bye and take care.